Hello everyone, welcome to a LEGO Star Wars set review. Taking a look at set number 75109, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the buildable figure. This set released officially on September 4th of 2015. It contains 83 pieces and is one of the many inclusions in the buildable lineup series. It's actually part of the very first wave of the 2015 ones. So yeah, if you do go on to enjoy this little unboxing and review, please make sure to hit that like button as well as subscribe. Let's crack this sucker open and see what the contents are. So by taking our handy dandy X-Acto knife and turning the box around into its side, I know the box includes a thumb tab, but I am just special in the sense that I just like using X-Acto knives to cut open my thumb tab boxes because it's just a nice way to preserve the box, in my opinion, assuming I can do this right. So you kind of have to cut along here a few times, just kind of cut the glue. I think I got that just loose enough. Let's give it a try. Yeah, I felt a pop. All right. The contents in this set are as follows. Oh, you got the main torso. A bag with the majority of the parts, I want to say. A bag with the included cape. A lightsaber blade. Some Technic bits packaged separately, as well as the instructions. And that's everything, so let's check back in once the set is fully assembled. Okay, so after, like, I don't know, 10 minutes later, here we have the set fully built, and it was a pleasant build experience. I built a handful of these buildable figures, so general rhythm of how these go was, you know, to be expected. However, there was a few techniques that were a little interesting to me, or rather one technique that stood out to me, was the little skirt at the front of the figure here, which can move side to side, which I'm assuming as you pose the figure, yeah, there you go, will move, which very accurate in terms of a skirt. So I guess, you know, you get that much articulation, I guess. For some reason, the middle part is a little loose, so you can push that inwards, whatever. But the reason why that stands out to me is because it does something I haven't seen any buildable figure to date use, which is use the middle section of the body frame. So this little section here. So I think that's cool. I'm glad that that utilizes that, at least as far as I'm concerned. This is the only figure I've ever encountered that uses it. There might be a few others, whether it be from the Star Wars line, the Marvel line, Bionicle, Hero Factory, whichever. Point is, this is my first figure that I can recall that has a feature like that, and it's really cool. Additional features, I would say, outside the usual ball joint posability, is it does have this extra lightsaber attached to his hip for whatever reason. It's a little weird to have on display, as well as have his lightsaber out. But I mean, I guess you could remove it, maybe give it to another figure that, you know, was also released in this wave, Commander Cody, you know, if you wanted to. It's not super hard to detach. It's just on a Technic axle. And you just got to wiggle it free. And then bada bing, bada boom, it's just there, and you can just, I don't know, hold on to it like that. A little awkward looking, admittedly, but you can put that on either hip because they both use the same connection points here and here. So that's if you want to have some, I don't know, or a choice of articulation. But anywho, as per usual, you can display this guy. He can, you know, move about that high with his legs. That goes for both sides. Oh, buildable figures, gotta love them. Yeah, get about yay high before it starts getting awkward. Again, that skirt is a blessing, but also I can see how it can be a bit annoying. I know it was a little difficult to put this printed chest armor piece on for him because of this little skirt piece, but once it's on, it looks very nice. I do like it is printed and exclusive just to this set, as is the head sculpt for Obi-Wan, which is represented very well, given that this design is meant to be Clone Wars based, you know, from like the TV show, just with a cape, which I think is inspired from Clone Wars adventures. But I mean, to be fair, there have been tons and tons of action figures that are based on this design overall that have the cape. So I mean, just, yeah, Clone Wars is just the easiest thing to reference to image on screen, which brings me to my next point, which is actually an issue I have with this set. As you guys can see on the image there, looks pretty well, but let me point out something for you. You see how on Obi-Wan, the cartoon has the shoulder pads, and what's on the shoulder pads? Oh, a Republic Jedi insignia? Huh. You know, it would be pretty cool if, you know, that was included with the buildable figure, since, you know, the only things exclusive to this set are the chest piece and the molded head. I don't think it would hurt anyone, and it probably would have let people mock their own buildable figures more if they had a printed piece of just a simple little logo on the side there. I'm pretty sure they've done it before. Like, I think the best example I can think of the top of my head in terms of Star Wars buildable figures was the TIE Pilot. They had the First Order logo on there. So, I mean, what's the excuse? Oh, yeah, the First Order was released years later. Still, regardless, like, I'm sure they could have done it in 2015. But anywho, removing the chest piece, I can show you guys exactly how the cape is attached. Now, I attached my cape with the soft side inwards. That way, you know, for when I display this, it doesn't get dusty. But it does have two sides, as you guys can see. But I think that looks better. And it just has a singular Technic beam holding it together. So if you wanted to, you could just remove the Technic beam, like so, and then the head, take off the cape, throw on the Technic beam again if you want, and then bada bing bada boom, you got yourself a Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi that looks more accurate to the Clone Wars appearance. So I like that option. You know, like, the cape is not necessary, but it's great to have nonetheless, and he looks pretty cool overall with or without the cape. I mean, yeah, he's got his little Technic bits exposed more, so when you do that, but I like the option. You know, it's very cool, very nice to have. And in case I didn't give a good enough look with him with the cape on, here you go, the full 360 look of the figure with the cape on as a comparison. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the build. Let's have a look at what else is included with this awesome set. So taking a look at the instructions, just have the box art at the front there, which is not that bad. It is a little bit confusing, though, that it is Utapau in the background. I just am realizing this now. So you got the battle droids, but then you have Grievous and Obi-Wan in the background there, which is really weird, having Episode 3 background art for something that's, you know, Clone Wars season series of a figure. I don't know why I'm making that a whole tangent, but anyway, yeah, like I said, fairly easy to follow along instructions. But yeah, once you get to the end there, it just shows the completed model, parts listing, as well as some advertising for other buildable figures for the first line, first wave of the buildable figures, which I have done reviews of for most of these as the time of this recording, so go check those out. That'd be much appreciated. But yeah, you got some other 2015 sets advertised here. These ones don't particularly interest me as the time of this recording, but I do think it's pretty sick that they have Obi-Wan fighting Grievous. That looks pretty sick. And then you just have a win at the back there. As for extra pieces, this is all that I got with my copy of the set. So something that's really quick, I think worth mentioning, is I completely missed this at first. The instructions, you know, when you're building the lightsaber, it actually specifically points out to add the axle rod piece to the minifigure's hands. And I guess that's just so that way when you pose it like this, it's a lot easier to, whereas I was just kind of having the hands connect together, and I was like, oh man, I wish, you know, in the back of my head had this or that. But yeah, there you go. That's that. That looks way more sturdy in terms of whatever. I mean, yeah, just thought I'd point that out. User error moment, but I mean, it's kind of easy to mistake when, you know, you're just kind of flicking through, but thought I'd mention it. I know there's going to be at least someone out there that's curious how the heck Obi-Wan scales or compares when having it next to Commander Cody or Jango Fett. I unfortunately don't have General Grievous to show on screen here for you guys how those compare, but I mean, this is the best I can do. And like, oh my goodness, having at least, you know, like removing Jango, having Cody right next to Obi-Wan just looks amazing, regardless of the fact that, like, you know, like, it's Clone Wars and whatever. They look great together. And I mean, yeah, that's basically my size comparison. I just wanted to point out in case anyone was curious. So let's move on to my final thoughts with this set. So overall, I think this is an okay set. It's not exactly my favorite, but it is, you know, I enjoy having it in my collection, I would say. It's definitely going to look nice when I have it on display with Commander Cody. That is the one thing I'm most excited for when putting this on the shelf, is having those two displayed side by side. I think I'm really kind of bummed over the fact that there isn't the printed shoulder pads. Like, that would have added just an extra level of value and detail to me that's just overall missing in a 2015 set. In terms of a set that stands up to standards in 2025 as the time's recording, I think it's not bad. You know, I've reviewed a handful of buildable figures, and this definitely is one of the better ones, I would say. I would go as far as to recommend it if anyone's, you know, thinking about it. It's not a bad figure, especially if you can have like another Sith or a clone or whatever to have this on display with. It's not a bad character. I do like the inclusion of the fabric cape, even though, like I said, probably gonna live without it, but hey, it's nice, it's extra value. Now, in terms of if you want to pick this up in a sealed state, it's going for around 50, 70 Canadian range. So, I mean, it really depends how badly you want this figure. I mean, it's a lot better than a lot of other buildable figures are going for in the aftermarket, I would say, last time I checked. So yeah, pick this up if you're really thinking about it. If not, it's probably something you could pass on, but it's a cool thing to add to your collection as a Clone Wars fan like myself. So yeah, with that being said, thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd be curious to hear if you actually own this set, or if you own the special bundle pack that came with General Grievous, because there was like a Toys R Us, I believe, pack that came with this and Grievous. Anyway, let me know. Anyways, thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in a future video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.